Here we are on Bundaberg Super Saturday, live from ANZ Stadium. It's the Bulldogs up against the Knights. What a game this is, a game that will help shape the top 8 in this 2011 Telstra Premiership. The Bulldogs fans are fired up. So are the Knights fans who have travelled down the F3 here this afternoon to see if their side can break a 2-game losing streak. A losing streak that has them on the edge of the top 8. They come into this game in 8th position, coming off a Monday night football loss, of course, to the Brisbane Broncos. They went down 26-6 just 5 nights ago. Here's their lineup today. Peter Matatia comes into the side to start the game at fullback. Tonga Licky will play his first game as a Newcastle Knight after coming across from the Warriors at the beginning of the season. Kurt Gidley is now their 5'8". No change to the forward pack, and the bench is now Stig, Caruana, Fayoso and Edwards. Of course, the coach is Rick Stone. Inside the Bulldogs dressing room, they still have the faintest of faint hopes, Brandy, of being a factor as far as the top 8 is concerned, but they need to win here tonight and to win handsomely again next week.
Yeah, it's an all-or-nothing effort for the Bulldogs. They line up this way. Ben Barber at the back, Steve Turner and Jonathan Wright are the wingers. Josh Morris and Jamal Idris in the centres, Joel Romolo and Trent Hodkinson the halves. The front row, Aidan Tolman, Josh Reynolds and Sam Cassiano. The back rowers, Frank Pritchard, Andrew Ryan and David Stagg. The bench, Payer, Warburton, Keating and Millington.
The Bulldogs coming off a loss at Brookvale last Sunday afternoon, 27-16. Before that, though, they racked up wins against both the Cowboys and also the Sharks. As the Knights head down the tunnel here at ANZ Stadium, they have injury concerns coming into this game. There is no Adam McDougall. Licky takes his place. Jared Mullen coming into the game with a partially dislocated shoulder suffered last Monday night against the Brisbane Broncos. We'll wait and see how that affects him here today. In this reshuffled lineup, Kurt Gidley will play in the front line. He has filled many roles for the Knights again in 2011. Today the skipper will be one of the playmakers up front, with Peter Matatia taking his place in the fullback position. There are many variables as far as their top 8 chase is concerned. Basically, if they win here, they then take on the Rabbitohs next week to confirm their spot in the top 8. They have a pretty good record against the Bulldogs. We'll wait and see if they can go on and get the first part of their top 8 equation out of the way today.
I don't mind the change with Gidley coming into the 5'8 spot. It will take some pressure off Mullen if he is carrying some injuries. We know he's had a pec injury, the shoulder injury on Monday night, and picked up against the Broncos. Kaufusi was strong defensively on Monday night. Not one of his better games in that department. Bulldogs come out all carrying footballs, ready to kick into the crowd.
Grant Millington going through the frame there, taking the place of Greg Eastwood today. Millington will play in just his 6th game of the season. Eastwood out for the rest of the season with a wrist injury after coming off wrist surgery before this 2011 competition was underway. They come through the Giants Bulldog here at ANZ Stadium. Frank Pritchard has been more like the Frank Pritchard you would expect in recent times. We'll see what he offers again today. Looking forward to his battle head-to-head with Chris Houston. Jonathan Wright on one wing. Andrew Ryan, of course, perhaps playing just the second last game of his career. And Ben Barber has had a tough time of it of late under the high ball in particular. Was pretty solid last week against the Sea Eagles at times. We'll wait and see what he offers here tonight, but a lot, of course, to prove for him still if he's to be a long-term #1 for the Bulldogs. They are playing for the Beyond Blue Cup. It aims to raise awareness of depression, anxiety and related drug and alcohol problems in the community. That is what is on the line here today between these two sides, as well as the Premiership ramifications. Adam Devchich and Matt Chekin blow time on. And it's the Bulldogs who defend the southern end of ANZ Stadium. The kickoff goes down to Matatia and gives it off to Antonio Kaufusi, who was headed for the UK Super League at the end of this season for the Knights. De Gois out of dummy half, goes to Mullen. We'll wait and see how he fares in his first contact with the Bulldogs' defence here tonight, or how much defence he has to do with the Bulldogs, surely targeting him as far as their ball running is concerned early in this one. Here is Mullen going to the left-hand side. And they'll work it up with Evan Tuamavave to play it just short of the 40. De Gois from dummy half again. Mullen with that left boot hooks it back towards the near touchline, the western touchline here at ANZ Stadium. Jonathan Wright loping back. He brings it back to just beyond the 24 of the Bulldogs. An opening set of 6 without incident for the Newcastle Knights as Barber finds Josh Morris, who will work it away from a sideline. They get away to a solid start tonight, the Dogs. They can be slow out of the blocks at times. Trying to score points in the opening 20 of games. Now a mistake immediately here by Cassiano, and the Knights will get it on the attack, 40 out from the Bulldogs line.
You have a look at Cassiano. He is desperate to get rid of this football. And even though there might have been a hand there by Chris Houston, I think that's a loose carry from Cassiano. He was desperate to get the ball away. He's been in good form, the big fella, and I like him. He's got good footwork. He doesn't run straight into the defence. He can get in between defenders, therefore get a quick play of the ball, but that was a mistake so early in the game.
No, he has been good with his carries in recent weeks, and also his defence has really stung as well. Here is Uarte going on the attack and taking the Knights inside the Bulldogs 30. They play it. It goes through the hands there of Licky across to Tedovano, who will play it just outside the 20. Tedovano playing game number 5 in his NRL career after making his debut against the Sharks just on 6 weeks ago. Tuamavave will play it 15 out in front of the uprights. They go across to Gidley. It takes it to the line, grabbed there by Reynolds and also Stagg. They weren't falling for a dummy there, and he took them on. They were equal to the task on their own line. Here is Houston giving it to Mullen. Turns it back on the inside for Tedovano. He just bumps it forward. And they'll have one more play here. From around about 8 metres out from the Dogs' line. De Gois waits and he feeds it across for Mullen, who goes wide. A chip out there for McManus. It was a poorly struck kick. Gained the outside man. Absolutely no chance. And Turner, after making the catch, brings it back for a quick tap.
Yeah, great play, Stevie Turner, and that's what we see the outside backs do regularly now. Get out there as quickly as possible. That he just mishit that. Jared Mullen. It was almost a shank and made it easy for Turner.
Won't see too many of those from Jared Mullen. A very astute kicking game usually in that position. They bring it back to the halfway line. And they play it there through Cassiano. As Reynolds comes across to Romolo, who puts a floating kick in behind the line. Matatia coming across will look up, and he's stopped there by Romolo. Pritchard's grabbed him. Had visions of holding him up and taking him all the way back to the in-goal area, but he got to ground in a hurry, Matatia.
It does seem an odd selection with Romolo at 5'8", but he does add some enthusiasm. Led the chase on the kick, made good contact first up too on Matatia. And we'll see what he can offer the Dogs with the football. Is a bit flat in that area against Manly.
Now a chance of the second phase play from Tuamavave, who offloaded well in the tackle, and they went to the left-hand side for McManus to take it down within 35 of the Bulldogs line. Here's a little tip-on from Costigan. Houston does likewise. They get it across to Mullen. Took some time in getting there. Now Tedovano gives it to Licky, who made his debut for the Warriors in the NRL back in August of 2009. Tonight is just game number 2 in his NRL career. His first as a Knight. Mullen puts it in the air. Some pressure here on Barber, with the Knights coming down on top of him. Gidley flew, came down with it, and it's the Knights who score first here tonight.
Well, he might have mishit the first kick, Jared Mullen, but he landed that one right where it should have been, on the try line. Gidley just had to win the battle in the air, and he did that against Barber. Never left where the ball was bouncing. Once where the ball was going to land. Once he got it in his hands, he was close enough to the try line to force his way over. Terrific take by Kurt Gidley. And a good set from the Knights. Travelled 70 metres before the kick was put up. You spoke about the problems Barber had in the air. He'd actually been good last week against Manly and the previous week against the Sharks. And even though he committed himself that time, he was just beaten by a player that wanted the ball more.
You can't fault him on that occasion for his effort in going up into the contest, but of course he does give away some height. The smaller fullbacks in the NRL is Ben Barber. To convert his own try from right in front, Kurt Gidley should be able to make it 6 points to 0. He does exactly that. And after a poor kick, he's wide men to the left-hand side from Jared Mullen. First time around, he comes up with a good bomb for Kurt Gidley to outlead Ben Barber. We'll wait and see what that does to the confidence of the will-o'-the-wisp that is Ben Barber at the back. It's an excitement machine with the ball, but he's had his issues defensively and under the ball in 2011. Here's Kafusi. Gets this next set of 6 underway for Newcastle. They've taken the lead. De Gois goes out the back. They look better with the ball than they did in the early going against the Broncos on Monday night. Another game in which they finished with a rather poor completion rate. It really cruelled their chances in that one at home. Tonight so far, they've been perfect with the ball. Tedavano playing. It goes from Mullen across to Siatonga Licky. He's 5 on his own side of halfway. He plays it for De Gois. Good charge to Mavabe, taking it to them, landing on his hands and knees and supplying a quickish play the ball. And as a result, the kick was going to find the space, but there is the speed of Ben Barber on a slightly sandy surface, as you saw coming back to the middle of the field. He was able to get to that on the full, and it stopped a situation in which he was going to be under enormous pressure had the ball got to the in goal.
Yeah, terrific coverage there from Benny Barber. They really needed it too, the Dogs. They're under the pump. Been starved of possession. Well, a mistake from Cassiano. Really haven't seen much football apart from that.
Now Andrew Ryan brandy coughs it up.
Same spot in the field too. Cassiano pushes a pass in their opening set. This one from Andrew Ryan. I don't know whether the ball was knocked from his grasp or whether he tried to pass it. I think it's just come free.
So the contact there initially with Houston. Ball just coming loose. Must have been thinking of perhaps about offloading it. Out! I see now just one completion of 3 possessions they've had. As the Knights go to the left-hand side. Manatia giving it off to Lalia. He'll play it inside the Bulldogs 20. A chance to go back-to-back here for the visitors as they search for a win to keep themselves in the top 8. Costigan playing it. Goes from Mullen. Takes it to the line, gives it to Gidley. He's got options. He takes them on himself, and he came to Pritchard and lost it in Frank's tackle.
And I think he, just as he tried to get that arm free, half through a hole there, through the dummy. He got on the inside of Romolo, but Pritchard covered well. He was able to knock the ball free. That's Stone.
Seconds are locked them in nice and tight. Peter
step down into the assistant role next year. Wayne Bennett's arriving.
Well, of course, they have lost 2 in a row, but for the most part during this season, given everything that's happened on and off the field for the Newcastle Knights, you can only applaud the job done by Rick Stone to keep this team in the top 8 this deep into the season. They could have easily folded up shop and said we can just wait mentally for 2012. He's been able to keep them going to this point, despite the 2 recent losses. Another lead here tonight to try and protect. 10 minutes gone on the clock. It's the Knights who lead by a converted try. Here's Stagg. Takes it beyond the 30. We'll play it to Josh Reynolds. So they go to the right-hand side. back, going one way, coming back the other, running, picking up 15 metres plus there for the Bulldogs. Now Reynolds, he goes to Stagg, he turns it back on the inside there for Hodkinson, but there was nothing doing as Hodkinson came to Costigan and also to a Mavave. Barber, he just chips one in behind the line, straight to Matatia, who got it on the bounce. He brings it back, not a great kick once again from the Bulldogs.
That was a bit of the old Andrew Ryan, the big right foot step back to the other side of the ruck, 15-metre gain. Some footwork involved in his run. I'd like to repeat that a few times tonight. Quiller, well tackled there by Romolo underneath. Hung onto that foot.
To wrap him up early. So they bring it back into Bulldogs territory. Gidley going across the line. He gives it to Tuamavave, who is very wide out here in the middle of the field. They'll have two more plays here in this set. So De Gois takes it from dummy half, scooting to try and supply a fast play. The ball, he's lost the ball, but they'll say it was stripped.
He made plenty of metres, De Gois, and they're not having any problems in that area, the Knights. Hodkinson over the top. Oh, gee, that is a tough call. Actually, no, that's not a tough call. That's just a bad call. There wasn't a hand near that. Now, I'm assuming that's a touch judge call because the referee marking the 10 couldn't have seen that because there was a man over the top.
Get off. Don't come back.
Now, look, still in his arms.
It's a very tough one against the Bulldogs. And Kurt Gidley from just outside the 30. Not in front of the uprights, but not far to the left-hand side. Should be able to make it more than a converted try. The difference early on here. We've played at times as poorly as the Dogs have this season. Can't afford to have any bad luck as far as the rub of the green is concerned. He didn't get any on that particular call there, but it's early doors as far as this one is concerned. Let's see if perhaps things even themselves up as far as the luck by the time we get to full time. Just outside the 30, another good strike by Kurt Gidley. 2 from 2, and it's 8-0. Newcastle on top of the Bulldogs. We go downstairs to Brett Kamali, and not the start the Dogs were looking for, Noddy.
No, that's right. It's certainly a poor start. A couple of drop balls have built some pressure. It's a game of confidence and momentum. At the moment, Newcastle got all the momentum. The Dogs need a big defensive set here to stop that momentum.
Let's see if they can supply it. Turner with the kickoff. Goes down to Matatia. He hands it off to Kafusi, who brings it back out towards Ryan and also Tolman. De Gois out of dummy half, going to Gidley. Plenty of touches already. We'll wait and see where he plays permanently, if he can ever play somewhere permanently in 2012 under Wayne Bennett. It was a topic of discussion in our pre-game show, of course, as Mullen goes across to the left-hand side. Here is Tuamavave standing in the tackle there of Ryan, with the front rows involved as well, and as a result it's a slow play the ball. De Gois gives it to Kafusi, comes towards Stagg and also Hodkinson. They've done well to bring it back beyond the 40. Mullen will kick from almost the halfway line as a result, and he'll take it towards the sideline and take it out of play and force the Dogs to work it away from a scrum inside their own 20.
Well, they're just not offering anything to the Dogs. Only one mistake, 6 from 7 so far for the Knights. No problems getting the ball out of their own end. The Mullen or Gidley. Getting good kicks in to finish the sets. Jamal Idris, no tackles, 1 run so far. He's been a bit quiet. They'd like to see him with plenty of the football, I would think.
And a set of 6 right here. Scrum feed from inside your own 20. And Idris has gone to first receiver, if you like, in this open side, but they bypass him to go to Josh Morris. But you'd imagine, as the Dogs get a penalty, they'll lay it down now, but Idris, with his size and his bulk and his difficulty to handle, you'd like to see him touch the ball more coming out of your own end to try and really ask a couple of questions of the defence as you work it away from inside your own territory. But here they are instead, back on the attack. Quick kick for the line off the penalty, and they picked up a lot of metres as a result. And Tolman works it down within 30 of the Knights line. Reynolds stuttering, looking for somebody. Now he finds Hodkinson. Romolo gives it to Pritchard. A mistake on play number 1.
It wasn't a great ball. It wasn't a great ball from Romolo. You don't want to ask Frank Pritchard to stop and really reach behind to catch the football. It was high and behind him, and that's a big error from the Dogs. Poor execution of their play. Pritchard tries to make up for it.
Yes, he did. He came up and put a shoulder there on Isaac de Gois. Bounced back to his feet, Isaac. And he's a tough nut, we know that, as Houston brings it back into Bulldogs territory. They can scarcely believe their luck, the Knights. About to face a set of 6 under pressure, and a mistake on play 1 from the Dogs as they go on the attack. Tedavano now getting away from Romolo, not held. And then the ball is stripped by Josh Morris. Saves the bacon of the Bulldogs, who are about to be under pressure, and the tackles to come in that set. And now there's a penalty. The Knights up inside the 10.
Oh, big play there by Brett Morris. Josh Morris out of the tackle of Romolo to his feet. Tedavano, he's a real handful, and then what a great steal from Josh Morris. And they catch Jared Mullen offside. Quick play the ball, and they find themselves about where they were a set ago.
Let's see if they can get through this particular set. They're 25 metres out from the Knights line. It goes from Reynolds to Pritchard. Now Tolman. Ryan was pushing up there in support. One more pass might have been very interesting for the Dogs. Reynolds goes to Pritchard. He had Cassiano coming with him, but he takes it down within 10. He'll play it there. Reynolds goes to Hodkinson. Out the back. Romolo losing it now. He hasn't had a great last couple of sets, has he? A poor pass for Pritchard. And now losing the ball in the contact and the tackle. I know he's wearing the 6 jumper tonight, but 2 very, very simple mistakes he's made in the last 2 sets.
Well, is he a long-term answer for the Bulldogs at number 6? They've got Chris Keating sitting on the bench. He's had a difficult season. Joel Romolo is a dummy half. I don't know whether the 5'8" spot really suits his game. And it's something the Dogs will have to deal with, not for the remainder of this season, but also going forward, as Costigan makes some good ground.
We approach the midpoint of this first half. They're under pressure here, the Bulldogs, to hang on to this 8-point deficit as it is at the moment. Gidley put it high in the air. A chance out wide for Uwate up against Wright, who lost it. It came off a teammate and back to him. And it'll be a knock-on in the in-goal area and a goal line dropout coming up.
Well, gee, Josh Morris had just about done all he could to give Jonathan Wright a clear catch at the footy, and he did that by protecting and just shepherding away Aquila Uwate, but Jonathan Wright couldn't drag it in on the first attempt, which will keep the Dogs under the pump.
Let's go.
Let's see how much resolve there is, given their predicament. Outside the top 8, not completely done with yet as far as the top 8 is concerned, but Uwate, he's trying to put them to the sword right now. What a run. He brings it back to within 20 of the line. Edwards is out there now, injected into the game as the Knights go on the attack. Mullen shows it to Tedavano, turns it on the inside to Lecky. Grabbed only just there, and a good legs tackle by Mickey Paya. Here is De Gois turning it back for Tuamavave. He goes to Edwards, and he'll be stopped. Romolo around the legs. Pritchard over the top. Play number 5 in this set coming up. Mullen. He finds Gidley. Cutting back on the inside was Costigan, but they put a kick in. It's too big by some distance as well. They'd like that one back and over again.
Well, that releases the pressure. He took it right to the line, Kurt Gidley. I don't know whether he was just trying to get one of those grubbers that angled towards his support play. McManus hugging the sideline out there. He got the kick wrong as Paya rips it in, trying to get some metres. Some metres which they really need, the Bulldogs.
Had absolutely no field position in this game. Here is Pritchard getting through a gap, but stopped there pretty quickly by Houston. And now Hodkinson to Payer, Stagg, quick hands, short passes across the middle third of the field. Take it back on the attack now through Hodkinson, who plays it. Stagg looking one way. Set upon there by Gidley and then Costigan. And they'll kick it on the last. From just inside the 40, Hodkinson looking for the line, has kicked it out on the full. Well, that's just about the full set for the Bulldogs as far as incomplete sets tonight.
Well, they just haven't got one right yet. A couple of free kicks had them down this end of the field. They couldn't get through their set. They bungled the passes. They dropped the ball. There's the errors. They've got through four sets from 10. They're looking all right, only trailing 8-0 the way the stats are reading. The way they're playing now, they could be trailing 20-0. And if they score a try soon, Newcastle, you can nearly forget the Dogs. The effort that they've put into this opening 20 minutes, you can nearly say, unless they can turn it around pretty quickly, you can nearly say, well, that's it.
It's looking ominous at the moment. A little bit of byplay there. They all stopped and Matt Checken went to blow the whistle. I don't know the whistle was actually working. He had a second crack at it. Everyone knew what was happening, at least on the field. Here come the Knights inside the 20. Check that P in the whistle, Matty. De Gois gets the all clear now.
They need to fire up here. Romolo and Pritchard make the tackle.
They're just outside the 10. Tuamavave will play it. Here's Mullen. Looks okay as far as the shoulder is concerned so far. Edwards, there's been a collision here. Reeling out of it. Is that Andrew Ryan? He's in some trouble back on the line. They go back towards him now. Gidley for Uarte. Charging, and Andrew Ryan has copped another knock. Well, he's been split open, Andrew Ryan. He's got blood all over his face. They'll stop the game here for a moment. It'll be another penalty, in fact. But there was a collision. Was it Edwards and Ryan? And Andrew Ryan, well, does he have a gash in the nose or a badly broken nose? Either way, he's not well.
What are you doing, Kurt? You're going to have a shot. You're going to have a shot at goal. Right.
It might be both for him all at the same time.
Yeah, he reeled out of that tackle pretty quickly, didn't he? Looks like it's a split on the nose. Oh, it's with Mickey Payer.
Payer knew straight away there was a bit of friendly fire. The captain had been opened up. Off the back of all of that, there was a penalty for holding down in the play of the ball, and the Knights, he must have been tempted to really put it to them in another set of 6 from close range. Instead, they'll take the option of taking the 2. Almost a given from beside the uprights for Kurt Gidley here. It's been, as you said, Brandy, a lethargic start by the Bulldogs. We'll go to Brett Kamali in a moment. As Kurt Gidley adds the 2 points to make it a double-figure lead for Newcastle, 10-0. Interestingly, we were talking before the game, Brett, as Andrew Ryan comes from the field. That might need more attention. One of those Hannibal Lecter tape jobs to stop the blood there for the skipper of the Dogs. But you said they trained last night and trained very well.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm concerned, and as a former player, and Greg Alexander, you'll know, when you got rhythm against you, it's very hard to get into a football game. Every time you try something, you feel tired. It's frantic. You've got to find some rhythm as a player. You've got to get into the game.
They haven't got much of anything at the moment. The Knights, they've got a head of steam up. You saw the kick return there by Tuamavave, just charging back at them and just threw his body through the line. Here's Tedavana. We'll play it almost back at the 40-metre. Mullen Gives it to Houston, a little juggle. He reeled it in time as he came towards Payer and also Reynolds. High-stepping jink of a run. Gave it to Mavave on the last. It's the halfback who'll kick it. He was ankle tapped after the event. It's a bit of backspin as well. It'll force Steve Turner to go back and bring it back. He runs into Leah there, and he'll play it inside his own 20. Good kick by Mullen, good set off the back of the points by Newcastle.
Well, it's a bit hard to be flashy at this end of the field, but gee, they need to get to a kick, and for the kick to be a good one. Idris.
Not much energy there in that carry, and De Gois did go on the tackle, but really hasn't been anything like the player he was earlier in the year, and you have to question just how mentally tough it has been for Jamal Idris, knowing for such a long portion of the season he was headed to the Gold Coast in 2012.
Oh, he's been a major disappointment off the back of it, and the Bulldogs have. There's a lot of individuals really, and we spoke about a couple prior to the game that would think, well, 2011 has been far from my best season. Let's hope I can turn it around next year. They failed to get through that set with David Stagg coming up with the error.
Which makes them now 4 completed sets from 11 possessions they've had. Here is De Gois going to Mullen. And now Gidley. Tedovano, the first man. Behind them, though, was Manatia. He was played mostly on the wing in his time in first grade for the Knights this season, after making a try-scoring debut against the Roosters in the middle part of the season. They work it forward here, and they'll play it through Fayoso, who's just on the field. Mullen gets away from Reynolds' attempted tackle. Costigan gives it on to Leah. It comes back to Mullen. He runs away from Grant Millington, then chips it towards the end goal. And Barber didn't have to leap for it, but he came down with it all the same. And they will bring it back out to the 20 for the restart. They've had some chances inside the Bulldogs 20. You see 15 tackles inside the Dogs 20, but apart from the try they scored, of course, off the ball, they haven't offered a lot and attacked the Knights, have they?
No, they haven't, and there still is some resolve in that Bulldogs defence. Romolo splits them.
Hung on to a good ball. He sends Morris away. He's got right on his outside. He throws it dummy. He runs past Manatia. And despite being not a part of the contest, really, Josh Morris gets up and says, come on. We are still a chance in this game. It's 10-4 with the kick to come. And off the back of the kick, the only difference in the game will be the 2 penalty goals. What a catch that was by Romolo, and a ball to Morris.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there. Little 3-man tip on. They've had a bit of success when they've been able to hang on to the football with the 3-man tip on. And that time it was Millington to Romolo, who took it behind his shoulder. Uarte had slipped over. That made it easier for Morris. Threw the dummy to the outside. With Uarte not really in the picture, it was a tough one from Manatia. Morris gets up. Hallelujah.
You can say that again, Brother Greg. It has been a tough opening 28 minutes for the Dogs fans here at ANZ Stadium to sit through tonight. And they found their voice at last, given a reason to get off their seats. Josh Morris in open space. He's always a sight. Had right on his outside, but didn't need him. And Steve Turner from right in front makes it a try. The difference at 10 points to 6. That's more like it, Noddy.
Yeah, that's right. It was helped in the bad kick by Jared Mullen. They needed a set start. They needed to return. The 22-metre tap or 20-metre tap helped. Short passes has been the Bulldogs' strengths the last few weeks. And Josh Morris in open space, I'm concerned. When they link passes together, the Newcastle line vulnerable. Complete your sets, Dogs.
That's the message as much as anything. Complete a couple of sets. You don't know what you might be capable of. Kurt Gidley with the restart. An awkward bouncing ball there for Hodkinson, who did well in the end to reel it in. And he gives it off to Tolman. We'll play it here just inside the Bulldogs 10. Half an hour gone. Oh boy, I can't believe that. Poor Aidan Tolman. He gets through plenty of work in the course of a game. Has put it down as coldly as you would like.
Yeah, just trying to play it too quickly. Wasn't to his feet. never really had control of it. Well, they've defended their line plenty of times so far in this game. Already 30 minutes into it. 10-6. And you just had a look at the completion rates flash up. The Dogs are sitting all right.
At the moment, we'll wait and see what happens here in this set of 6. Uwate, his few carries so far has looked dangerous for the Knights. He plays it inside the Dogs' 10. Here's De Goyce, first receiver going at the line. Gidley will get to dummy half, a familiar position for him here off a slow play the ball. Goes out the back to Mullen, who turns it back on the inside for Edwards, who ran back into the meat of the Bulldogs' defensive line. Gary Warburton is out there now, making that tackle with the help of Millington. They come back to the right this time. A real mistiming of the run there. Houston had to stop, and as a result, well, he was going to be an easy target. He kept going though, and Stagg and Tolman had their hands full. De Goyce, he gives it to Fayoso, always likes his chances. Oh boy, that is soft. Way too soft. We're going to check it.
I just want you to check the Newcastle number 20 as a driver. I'm just not sure when he came in.
Okay, they're going to check the Newcastle number 20 and make sure he hasn't interfered with any of the defenders. As Fayoso just stepped off the right foot, came back through the middle of the ruck. Matatia, he hasn't played a part in that.
No, that's green lights.
Yep, he backs up on the inside. There's 3 Bulldogs there, 4. Barber's pushed out of the contest. There's Fayoso, the ball's down basically before Matatia even gets involved. Well, the referee just wanted to have a look at, make sure things were clear, and they are. They're clear. As the Dogs, well, the green light, the Dogs were travelling all right at 10-6, but that try, that's a fair indication really now. 14-6 kick to come, 16-6, of really how this first half's gone.
Richie Fayoso, always tough to stop. But boy, that was meek, the defence in the middle of the line like that. Underneath their post, off the mistake by Tolman, which put them under pressure, and he was one of the men involved in the tackle with Barber, and one other who couldn't stop that man, Richie Fayoso, who gets just his 2nd try of the season. Kurt Gidley won't mind this. Every kick from just about right in front here tonight. And again, he makes the difference. 10 for the Knights as they try and hang on to 8th position and give themselves a sudden death showdown, potentially, depending on what happens tomorrow against the Rabbitohs. Here it is again, Noddy. Shut your eyes, you won't like this.
Well, it was from a standing start, Richie Fayoso. It wasn't as if it was Jared Mullen or Kurt Gidley getting the ball first off the ruck. It was Richie Fayoso, a front rower, stepped off the right foot, came back towards the middle of the ruck, and there was nothing there.
Boy, that's horror movie stuff for the defensive coach, Brett.
Yeah, that's not good. The ball player or the ball runner is the most important guy. The tackle. It was an old school runaround. Isaac De Goyce was on the runaround. Everyone forgot about Richie Fayoso. Not a good sign for the ruck.
Here he is again. Pretty big contact there between himself and also Millington. Doesn't he carry it though at speed? Plays above his weight at times as well. Yeah, he's probably as big as he's ever been as far as his weight is concerned now with the Knights. And now they're going to say this one was stripped as well. Well, they got a tough call against them early, the Bulldogs. Here is Fayoso once again. This time there was a hand in there just flicking the ball out. Was it Mickey Payer coming in and just flicking it out?
Yeah, Mickey Payer was in there. You know what? I think he put his hand on the ball, then it went away from the football, and that gave the impression that it was still there. See, I'd call that a loose carry. It's a tough one for the referees because they don't see it in slow motion.
Oh, good contact here between Reynolds and Hansen, and he loses the ball. They're going to say backwards. In fact, they're going to say stripped out by Josh Reynolds in that contact. And as a result, this is the 0 tackle for Newcastle.
Well, he has tried a couple of times, Josh Reynolds, to spark things up for the Dogs. That was a good shot he put on. Chris Houston.
Tedevano picked up. Oh, boy, they all had a quarter there. They could have hung, drawn, and quartered him. Everybody had a limb. Now Fayosa. He brings it back inside the Bulldogs 20. Full set of 6 here from close range, and alarm bells ringing in the coach's box for Jim Dimmick. Here's Manatia running to Hodkinson. He got past him pretty easily as well. Stagg and Indris. They stop him about 3 metres out from the line. It goes from Lulia. Mullen. He's swamped there. Set upon there by Stagg and also Millington. They waste a tackle. Manatia got caught up in the tackle. Play number 5, De Goyce. Edwards showing it. Going himself, but nobody falling for a dummy there. Good tackle by Payer. Last play. Mullen off the right foot. Rubbering. Pressure on Barber. He brings it back. Needs to get to ground and does so to keep it in the field of play for the Bulldogs. Now Cassiano is back out there, and he swatted away De Goyce like he was a pesky fly on a summer barbie. By Warburton, almost passing it back to the Newcastle Knights.
Really? The Bulldogs.
Let's see if the Knights can make them pay. They should. The Bulldogs, 5 sets completed of 14. Here's Uarte going himself. Morris was underneath him. There was nowhere to get the ball down, and he's still in the field of play. I'll continue on here. 4 more tackles left on top of the Bulldogs line. Here's Houston going to Gidley. He goes across to Manatia. Shows it. Lalia goes past him. Picked up there by McManus. Under Idris's tackle. But not that of David Stagg. Costigan looking. Feeding it back to Manatia. He gives it straight to Gidley. Says, Skipper, you do something with it. And he gives it on to Edwards. At midfield once again. De Goyce comes to Mullen. He grubbers. Here's a chance. He dives in and grabs the first try of his NRL career. They had to crack them, and they've opened up a healthy lead now, haven't they?
Yeah, well, we said 16-6 was a clear indication of more of an indication of how the first half had gone. They deserved this one too, after Gary Warburton tossed the ball Newcastle's way as the Dogs bring it out of their own end. Tedevano on the back of a nice kick from Jared Mullen. Just went to the defence. Brought them up. Found the hole. And there was a couple of Newcastle players that were first there. Tedevano gets his name to the scoreboard.
Joined the Knights in 2009 after coming across from New Zealand. Hails from the Auckland suburb of Tokoroa. You know that part of the world pretty well, Brandy, having played for the Warriors.
Very good. 2 years. Can't remember Tokoroa. No.
Is that correct?
I don't think...
They can't have a golf course there then?
No golf course in Tokoroa.
Not that you know of anyway.
Doesn't look like a golfer's name.
He looks like a pretty good back rower, doesn't he?
Well, we're nearing half-time, and I can't remember a worse completion rate. They've got through 5 sets. 5 sets this half. That's it.
Kurt Gidley adds 2 more. 22 points to 6. Matt Hilda missing tonight, of course, with that nasty gash that he suffered to the scalp on Monday night against the Broncos. Required 30 stitches. And a smile as well, which may need some work post-career. Along with Wes Nguama, they're enjoying the action on the Knights bench. And the equation coming here tonight was just win, and then it makes it very tough no matter what happens tomorrow between the Rabbitohs and the Broncos. But a win here for the Newcastle Knights does make it tougher, of course. It will eliminate the Bulldogs first off, and then it makes it very tough for the Rabbitohs to knock them out of the top 8. They will come down to a showdown, depending on a victory by the Rabbitohs tomorrow. If they can do that, it'll be a hell of a game next week up there in Newcastle. Here is Houston pouring into a hole. Back on the inside for Matatia. They'll grab him, but only just. And they are pouring it on here towards the back end of the first half. Inside the final 60 seconds. Last play. If there isn't a penalty coming up for Josh Morris slowing things down. Here's De Gois grubbering off the legs. Picked up there by the Knights. And they'll say 6 more tackles. Joel Edwards has it. It was played at, they say, by the Bulldogs. Here's Houston going across to Mullen. Turning it back on the inside for Costigan. 25 seconds remaining. De Gois. The ball of the arm at least knocked there by Cassiano. No restarting of the tackle count. It won't matter here. Edwards might have been hurt there in the collision on the ground. De Gois goes to Gidley. Tenavano tipping it on. Intercepted by Josh Morris. And that'll make sure the lead is no more than 16 here at the break. The siren sounds. John Wright will submit the tackle. It has been a tale of woe for the Bulldogs. The Knights, though, doing it pretty comfortably, and they're going to get a fair bake from their fans, the Bulldogs, as they leave the field here. Some boos ringing out around ANZ Stadium. You can understand the fans' frustration. 22-6 it is. We will take a break ourselves and come back to look at it with the boys in the studio right after this on Bundaberg Super Saturday. But let's go downstairs before that to Brett Kamali.
Well, we spoke about Jared Bowen pre-game being injured. That was the best kicking game of any halfback I've seen this year. Let's see. New coach Jimmy Dimmick, inexperienced. Let's see how he turns the Bulldogs around in the second half.
Bread Cafe this August, we've got you covered. Any one of 3 delicious lunch meals served to your table for $9.90. Burger, wrap, salad, lunch on a plate for under $10. Amazing lunchtime value, just $9.90. But check out dinner. Lobster prime rib, premium fresh grilled whole lobster atop our 18-hour slow-cooked, light-cut prime rib. And with this free limited Hogster sports cap, Hogs Bread Cafe has got you covered.
Cordura reinforced pockets and knee patches, 100% duckweed fabric and triple stitching. The original Legends work pants. Nothing's tougher.
At Holden, we've released the Series 2 Commodore range. The smartest cars we've ever made, and the first cars with our touchscreen Holden IQ system. But these cars are smart under the bonnet as well, with future-friendly engines that can run on bioethanol to reduce CO2, as well as a direct injection engine that's smooth and powerful, yet more efficient than some 4-cylinder cars. In fact, it'll take you 900 k's up the highway on a single tank. Test drive the Series 2 today. It's the very clever Commodore. Holden, go better.
Oh, a 70-piece Crescent professional tool set for $59.
An Exceed pressure washer for $79.
Father's Day gifts with...
Grunt.
At your local home timber and hardware.
The proper hardware store.
It's big. It's bigger than big. Harvey Norman's 4-day sale. PlayStation 160 gig console price smash at $299. Fisher & Paykel dryer only $199. What a deal! That's Harvey Norman's. Up to 40% off selected lounge, dining and outdoor furniture. Up to 40% off selected mattresses, ensembles, bedroom furniture in Manchester. 4 days only with a big 48 months interest-free store-wide. No deposit, no interest till 2015. It's Harvey Norman's. Ends Monday. Hurry!
You in the club with your homie.
Bunch of players.
Blindness all around you.
So damn boring.
Then it hits you.
Put in the air.
You want it all, you like it raw. Time to get some, time to get
set it later.
Ain't no dandy drink.
It's a Maverick drink.
Ain't no boy band drink.
It's a manly drink.
Ain't no posers drink. Pick up your drink
Well, what about the Newcastle Knights? They are fired up for this one today as they think about cementing their spot in the top 8. They are 22 points to 6 leaders in the first game in a triple header today on Bundaberg Super Saturday. We're going to head back to Homebush shortly, but let's get the latest from the teams in Canberra and also Townsville this evening. Firstly to Dairy Farmers Stadium, where it's a very good evening to Andy Raymond, who's standing by ahead of the Cowboys-Sharks clash. G'day, Andy.
G'day Ryan, g'day everyone. When the North Queensland Cowboys lost Jonathan Thurston in State of Origin 3, many questioned if they'd play finals footy. They won 3 from 5 without him. Since his return, they've lost 2 in a row. In fact, it's 3 consecutive losses for the Locos, who are looking to find their mojo again tonight. They can finish the weekend as high as 4th, as low as 7th in their battle for a top 4 finish. For the Sharks, they're staring down the barrel of 7 straight, but pride is a very powerful motivator in this football club. Paul Gallen will play, Jonathan Thurston will play. Both have been on limited duties throughout the week. You can catch every tackle and every try right here live on Fox Sports. Kick-off at 7:30.
Thurston will play. That is big news for Cowboys fans. There was some doubt with that stomach bug that he had throughout the week. Let's now go to Mark Braybrook, standing by at Canberra Stadium, where the Raiders are taking on the Panthers. G'day, Potsy.
G'day, Ryan. It's a little bit chillier here in Canberra than, of course, it is in Townsville. Well, there's big news there that Jonathan Thurston will play for North Queensland. The good news for Canberra fans is that Josh Dugan will play here today, a game where both teams have been very poor the last month or so, but there's plenty of reason to celebrate for Canberra tonight. Of course, it's their reunion. They've got 100 former players here, all enjoying each other's company, and, of course, it is the last home game for Alan Tongue, who is one of the greats of this club. So can they lift and win for Alan Tongue? If they lose tonight, I should say, the Canberra Raiders, it will be their worst ever home season here at Canberra Stadium, and it will be the worst home season since their inaugural season in the competition. So plenty to play for the Canberra Raiders, and the Penrith Panthers will want to end a very ordinary 5-game losing streak. You can watch us at 7:30 by pressing the red button, or a little bit later tonight here from chilly Canberra.
All right, Mark, stay warm. We'll head back to you a little bit later. Of course, if you want to see that game, just press the red button on your remote, the viewer's choice option this evening. Let's have a look at the first half from this game at ANZ Stadium, where the Newcastle Knights are flying high. And, Junior, I don't know whether we've seen stats like this so far this season.
Nah, it's certainly not as lopsided as this. The diabolical completion rates from the doggies there, it's just ridiculous. 5 from 14, and that's resulted in a flood of possession for the Knights. 32 tackles in the opposition 20, compared to one measly little single one for the doggies. So that's an indication of the lopsidedness of the match. And Gordy, it really, you give the Knights this sort of field position and ball, and they're going to carve you up.
Well, that's what they had to do, is get down there so they could isolate Benny Barber, and they did. Gidley one-on-one. There's not too many personal challenges, but that was one of them, and Gidley come up trumps. Well, they fought back here. Question mark over that pass, as Ryan Phelan mentioned, but Morris, good to see him back in open space, because he spent a bit of time in the lower grade. Good show and go, and a good fight back there from the Bulldogs to get in fighting rank.
But then they knocked it on the very next play through Aidan Tolman from the kickoff. It put them in great field position. Look, the Newcastle forwards tonight have been excellent. Far Oso and Tuamavave in particular have really torn them up. And this superb little kick here for Tedovano would make it 22 points to 6 at half-time. Look, it hasn't been razzle-dazzle football by the Newcastle Knights, but I would think, Junior, it's one of their smartest performances of the year. They've just completed their sets, and they've been a lot of short passing. It's been a clever game.
Well, in one word, it's commitment. They are committed to completing their sets. They realise if they control possession, get to their kicks, good Jared Mullen kicks, then they're a chance of winning this match. And football suicide on the other side of the coin. The Bulldogs just miserable ball control. It's an attitude thing. For me, it's an attitude thing. The doggies that came into this match just looking to go through the motions. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, the calculator's been smashed now, so could this be a blowout, this game, you think?
Dogs fight back. Good second
You think
half.
the Dogs can fight back?
Well, I'm hoping.
All right, we'll see what happens. We're going to have a break, and all the second half action from Homebush on Bundaberg Super Saturday after this. 22 points to 6 to the Newcastle Knights.
The 2011 US Open, live Tuesday, Fox Sports.
legends work pants. Nothing's tougher.
Welcome to the third half, the time after the game when you bond with your teammates and share a beer. And thanks to Hahn Super Dry, it just got better. What better way to bond than taking down an Australian sumo champion? Beat him, and you could win up to $5,000. There's also $1,000 in team prizes each and every week. So what are you waiting for? The Hahn Super Dry third half for the beer, the banter and the best season ever.
Sign up at thethirdhalf.com.au today.
During your 18 months of Army officer training at the Royal Military College Duntroon, you learn how to be a leader in any situation. Because one day, that situation could become very real. Think you've got what it takes? Make your next move count. Call 13 1901 or visit defencejobs.gov.au today.
Every year, you want the maximum possible refund. Before you get caught in the storm, come in and see our tax specialists.
Every dad's choice for Father's Day has got to be Bunnings.
It's a toy shop. It's a toy shop for Dad. Simple as that.
Arlic Halogen Worklight, $27.90. Multifold ladder, $79. Gurney High Pressure Cleaner, $199. Azito Drill Driver, $69. Stanley Tape Measure, $9.86.
Don't miss our Father's Day family night, Thursday, 1st of September.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
TAB Sportsbet Market Update.
G'day, Glenn Munsey here from TAB Sportsbet. Hope you're enjoying the Bulldogs and the Knights, the start of Super Saturday. Coming up, of course, the North Queensland Cowboys at home to the Sharks from Cronulla. We'll have a look at the head-to-head and line prices now. No matter where you're watching us around the nation, you can bet at tab.com.au, that's the web, of course, or on the phone on 133 390.
Sportsbet, TAB. Sportsbet. At Hogsbread, we've got you covered. Burger, wrap, salad, lunch on a plate for $9.90. And dinner, whole fresh grilled lobster with a light cut 18-hour slow-cooked prime rib. With a free Hogster sports cap, Hogsbread's got you covered.
It's been a tough old night for the Bulldogs so far. One moment of joy was Josh Morris running a long way to score a try. He tried to fire up the troops, but it didn't work because at half-time it's the Knights as they come back out for the second half who lead 22 points to 6. Chris Houston, 10 tackles, 10 hit-ups and 1 line break as well. And you see he, among others on the field tonight, wearing black armbands for the Newcastle Knights in recognition and in remembrance of those who lost their lives in the Brisbane fire tragedy during the week. Such terrible circumstances in that fire up there in Brisbane. And the Knights, along with many in the NRL this weekend, pausing and reflecting on what happened up there to those particular families. It's a terrible situation. Our thoughts and prayers are with them at this time. Well, the Bulldogs will need some prayers in this second half, perhaps because they were flat out terrible in the first 40. Completed just 5 of 14 sets. And Kurt Gidley gets us underway for the second half. The ball will go down to Hodkinson to give it off to Cassiano to bring it back out. But the Knights make a statement straight away. Somehow, though, Cassiano got the ball away as he was about to be driven into the Homebush turf.
Hold in.
And they went across to Romolo on the left-hand side. Here's Warburton. They need to hang on to it here. They had just 26% of the football in 40 minutes of rugby league. I can't remember a team having so little ball in a game, Brandy. And Andrew Ryan, boy, broken and gashed nose is the least of his troubles at the moment.
Well, pretty obvious they need to be first to get across the try line, and that's not going to help their cause, although it might. Gee whiz, a loose pass, but it was picked back up by the Bulldogs. Payer running a long way with it before tackled.
I didn't get lucky there, but perhaps a bit of luck is what they need. Oh, and then with tackles to burn up their sleeve.
That's zero tackle. That is zero tackle when they throw that pass. After tempting fate, only the play before, getting the bounce of the ball, They then do that.
Joel Romelo's been the man who's thrown several of those passes, which have gone a long way from being good ones. Chris Keating might be warming up in a hurry, I'd suggest, on the Bulldogs bench. Let's go downstairs to Brent Kamali.
Yeah, well, Rick Stone was very happy with the first 40 minutes for Newcastle. He wants momentum going for Newcastle. Keep putting the pressure on the Dogs, keep the completion rate really high, as he feels that'll drain any attacking ability the Dogs will have. So defensively, be really strong. Jimmy Dimmick, pride, enthusiasm. Back yourself, score some points, but obviously the bad start won't help him.
Well, Jimmy must have been looking for Panadols back in the dressing room at halftime, I'd suggest, because I can't imagine what he was thinking walking downstairs, what he was going to say to his team, given how diabolically bad they had been in that opening 40 minutes. Fayoso will play it here for Newcastle, just outside the Bulldogs 30. Here's the Goyce going to Mullen. Houston showing it on his outside, running towards Cassiano and others. And they'll stop him just outside the Dogs 20. One more up their sleeve here. You go to Mullen, who was grabbed there by Reynolds, who didn't go on with the tackle. Barber standing underneath it. No real pressure from the Knights. In fact, no pressure at all, because he was able to bring the ball back some 10 or 15 metres. Poor chase from Newcastle there off the back of the kick, which would have had Barber under all sorts of pressure.
And not a great kick again, Jared Mullen. They've had plenty of chances to kick the ball in attacking positions tonight, but Newcastle have got it wrong a couple of times, more than they'd want anyway. Jared Mullen, that one not high enough for his chase. The chase didn't give a damn anyway. And it almost allowed Barber, because the chase was staggered, Barber to cut them up. Good pass there by Reynolds.
Cassiano, well, we're not going to die wondering. Here is Turner going in behind one of his teammates. If they score, it will be interesting. Here's Romolo going to the line. They might have scored, but he took the tackle. Two men on his outside. He came back on the inside, and Josh Morris is giving him an absolute bake. And deservedly so, given what we just saw. Here's McManus coming down with the ball. Will they drag him into touch? Yes, they will. The flag goes up, and they'll say that was all in the one motion, and the Dogs will get the ball back, but they bombed an absolute try.
Well, it was some great footy by the Bulldogs down the right side, and then a stack of passes to get out to Romolo, and he was monstered by Chris Houston. And you're right, he got a spray off Josh Morris. McManus pushed away from Idris. It's a feeble attempt by Idris. But Big Sam Cassiano got his hands around the jumper and dragged him into touch.
Seconds lock, nice and tight.
The Dogs
we'll give you the outcall lock.
Well, a sniff. Gonna get themselves across the line in this set.
Go for it forward, two hands.
Well, for a team that completed 35% of their sets of 6 in the first half, they've come out and just said, well, we've got nothing to lose here. We're going to throw it around at all costs and see if they can razzle-dazzle their way back into the contest. Here's Morris. They're 10 metres away. Try here will give them a chance at least. There's Idris going to Turner, and they're in. The Dogs score the first 4-pointer of the second half, and it's come off the back of a brand of football that'll leave nothing on the shelf. They're going to check the put down here, but it looked to be okay.
Well, it did look okay. Actually, I'd given up on the put down. I wasn't looking that closely, because I'd already given him a try. Steve Turner tries to advance the ball as far in as possible. No dramas there. He still had his hand on the ball when it was put down. There it is. Slides off the back of it, but no doubt about it. Try. And the Doggies, well, alrighty. We've got a little game on our hands now, because we didn't a minute ago.
Let's see. Let's hope they're as excited as you are suddenly.
Well, there wasn't much to get excited about in the first half.
No.
5 sets they got through. 5. I don't think I've seen a stat like that. But Steve Turner grabs the opening try. The Knights have come out a little bit lethargic in this second half, as was evident from their kick chase. Good hands by Idris. Nice little set play by the Bulldogs. Turner does, well, he's kicking goals. He wants to get it as close to the post as possible.
Helps himself out there by bringing it around towards the right-hand upright. Be about 15 metres to the side of it. And back beyond the 20. As he makes contact with this one, he misses to the left-hand side. And that's a bit more like it, Brett. 22 points to 10.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the Dogs have come out with enthusiasm and pride that they spoke about, back themselves to score points. Joel Romolo had a chance to score, didn't take it. That time they got presented another opportunity. They were able to score. Important again, guys. Complete your set off this kickoff. Keep that momentum going forward.
Joel Romolo waiting back for the restart. The ball go to the other side of the field, though. Down to Hodkinson. We'll give it to Cassiano. Let them going. The first carry of the second half with an offload in this situation. Here he is, backing his way towards the 20-metre line eventually. Kurt Gidley came in to help out Fayoso and friends. Now Ryan, juggled there by Stagg, who gives it to Idris. Gets a chance to wind up here, tries to get away from Houston. It grabs him by the shorts and swings him to ground, but he plays it quickly. Now Payer dispenses with Isaac de Gois. Bounces away there from Tedovano. Still going is Mickey Payer. Good run. He brings it almost back to the halfway line. He wanted to keep going, Mickey. That's how keen he is suddenly. Reynolds, his pass goes to Hodkinson, who gets into the backfield. Tackled by his own man, David Stagg. And then Kurt Gidley with some help from Costigan. Look at the Bulldogs go. Play 5. They're on the attack. Reynolds running to the line. He gets in behind them. Guns to the fullback. Steps in behind Manatia and scores for the Bulldogs. What a comeback this is.
100 metres off the back of points. The Bulldogs travel the length of the field. Josh Reynolds finishes it off. But what a set by the Canterbury Bankstown team. Reynolds out of dummy half, throwing dummy, stepping. Here's the Hodkinson bus, gets in behind them, runs into his own player, David Stagg, carries him another 5 metres. The Knights shot to bits. They travel the same way. Reynolds, dummy, throws another dummy on the outside, gets under the tackle, big step on Manatia. I don't think he grounded originally, but rolled over again to get the try. Haven't we come to life?
Boy, oh boy, they were feeding off your excitement in that set of 6 as they worked it down the field. They're unstoppable. And Rick Stone must be recoiling in his seat saying, what has happened here?
Well, Sam Cassiano started it off. He carried about 5 Knights players at the 20-metre mark. Rick Stone's going, boys, no. Mickey Payer, terrific run by Mickey Payer, who backed up after the run by Cassiano. Something they couldn't do in the first, well, they just couldn't hang on to the ball in the first half. Let alone play football.
Now the kickoff is a deep one out on the full. Boy, oh boy. The Bulldogs are coming to get them, and the Knights have hit the wall. And there's a chance here for the Bulldogs to go back to back to back with tries. They took a real chance here by nobody getting back there and making sure of the ball going out on the full. But it carried there pretty comfortably in the end. Kurt Gidley. The big kick has put his side under pressure here. 30 metres out of the Bulldogs with a full set of 6. And it's Warburton who gets us underway. 6 points the difference. What an opening 9.5 minutes to this second half. Here is Payer, who again finds himself facing the wrong way, but it worked all right for him last time. Reynolds gives it to Hodkinson. He drops back Reynolds to go to the short side. Now Barber, Morris. Not much room there, but Morris is almost able to work away from Uarte. Has he dropped the ball? Yes, he has. Oh, boy, that's a let-off there for Newcastle.
It certainly is. Switch of play there by the Bulldogs. Back down the short side. Aquila came in off his wing to make the tackle on Josh Morris. Swung him around, which has forced the mistake from Morris. They needed that, the Knights.
Just squeezed away from Morris. No complaints from him about the call.
We'll give you the out call, Ben. Wait for the
strong tackle by Uarte.
2 hands. Front foot. Out.
something about defending the southern end of the stadium here tonight, because the Knights, well, they've suddenly become the Bulldogs. Here is Lulia. He's a bit wobbly, isn't he? He'll get back to his feet to play, but only just. He's not wobbly as far as a concussion is concerned. He was wobbly because his ankle, which is unmonitored, is completely given way, and he's in all sorts of trouble. Keith Lulia.
Oh, they're signalling he's coming off, so he's gone, Lulia.
What a run they're having as far as centres are concerned, Newcastle. They lost Junior Sau on Monday night to an ankle injury. Adam McDougall out of this game with a knee injury, and now Lulia. He's coming from the field with an ankle injury. The way he's leaving the field, he looks as though he's done. Here's a ball. Thayoso put House under enormous pressure there. It was a terrible pass to try and come up with, and the Bulldogs will get another set of 6 inside the Newcastle half.
Well, that theory is sounding okay at the moment. Anyone coming from the southern end, they're forcing the issue, the Knights, as the Bulldogs did in the first half, looking to offload at every possible opportunity when they really need to. They really need to get to a kick. 22-6 at half-time. The Bulldogs have banged on 10 minutes. 10 points in 10 minutes.
Yes, Newcastle have come up with the feed here, because on the replay, as you saw correctly, I'm pretty sure the video referee, Sean Hampstead, might have tipped to the referees, because the Dogs were lining up thinking they had possession. And suddenly the referee said, no, it's going to be a Newcastle feed, and that's why they have possession here as they take it into Bulldogs territory. They go across the line. Ryan Stigger's out there, the replacement for Keith Lulia. It'll mean a reshuffle, and you'd imagine Kurt Gidley will slide back into the fullback role. Peter Manatia will move up to take the place of Lulia on the left-hand side, and Ryan Stig will take the place of Kurt Gidley. Here's Mullen going to Gidley, giving it to Costigan, running towards Idris, who shows a bit of muscle in defence this time with the help of Warburton. Last play, 20 away from the Dogs' line. Mullen puts it up again. Just a midfield bomb, if you like. Barber going up for it, didn't get to it. Stick came down with it. But they're going to say the Newcastle chasers took Ben Barber out of the contest.
Well, they did go backwards pretty quickly, Benny Barber. Well, it was a near thing. Marvin Caruana and Kurt Gidley both get up for the ball, but they were probably a fraction early. It was the timing of it that they got wrong, and that pushed Barber out of the contest. So a close thing, but good calls by the referees.
He wasn't given a clean crack at it, was he, Ben Barber? And they rightly got the call as Warburton brings it back to the halfway line. 22-16. Boy, out the Rabbitohs up there in Brisbane preparing for tomorrow's game, cheering this Bulldogs comeback. Now Romolo at dummy half. Cassiano to Keating. This sure will see Romolo in the dummy half role. Time being at least while Reynolds is off the field, with Keating now out there. Here is a chance for Barber to give it across to Warburton, who tipped it on there from Morris. It was an awkward one with Uarte jamming in from the wing. Again, good field position, but again, they don't get through their set.
Well, he was jamming in, but you have a look at Josh Morris there, and he had eyes on Uarte and not the football. It was a close thing if he was looking to pass the ball, but just if he wanted to wrap the ball up, I think he could have done that. Would have had another couple of plays up their sleeve.
Then he come. Put the ball in. Put the ball in. No, it's loose. Too loose.
Well, I tell you what.
You got to get head down. You got to get head right down.
They're outnumbered, the Bulldogs. If they go down the short side here, the Bulldogs, it's a 3-on-1. It was like how they scored a try against the Brisbane Broncos on Monday night. Here they go. Let's see how they handle this.
Rightly tried. Keating was the man who was designated to break from the scrum quickly and get there, and he did get there and make the tackle. Here's Uarte, picked up with a squirrel grip almost by Mickey Paya. No dramas though. Kuzi okay. Now, Cassiano to go through the hand. Stig gave it off to Mullen, who got away from Hodkinson. They haven't been able to get to Mullen to test him out with that shoulder tonight. They certainly weren't able to put any pressure on him defensively, given how poor they were with the ball in the first half as well, and Mullen certainly wouldn't have minded that. Stig playing it. So it goes to Gidley, playing as fullback, but he's almost a third half, isn't he, up there in the line almost permanently here in attack. And again, the short side they go to the skipper, who kicks it back across the field. Turner picks it up, he's under pressure, and they'll say he grounded the ball on the line. It'll be a goal line dropout. Good work by the chase.
Yeah, was that Neville Costigan? Jared Mullen was up there. The kick from Kurt Gidley, and it was Costigan who stopped Steve Turner in his tracks. Turner gets down low, burrows, and look at you. Well, that's the last bloke you want to run into in that situation. Neville Costigan. Steve Turner came to a stop pretty quick. Big play by that man, the Queenslander.
The Bulldogs soak up a bit of time. And it's the Knights. Another chance here from close range. They've been able to add to their scoreline of 22 in the first half, and really, had it been a team more on song with their attacking game, it could have been anything to score against the Bulldogs in the first 40.
Oh, well, those stats, what, 26% of the ball in the first half, really. It could have been 40 in the first half, and they've spilled it.
Licky puts it down, and it's Warburton who comes up with the for the Bulldogs. I think Rick Stone said Licky. Here's Morris to play a 10 short of the halfway line. Right. Turns it back from the inside for Ryan. Barber grabbed it. A good tackle, an important tackle there made by Ryan Stig. Now right, with no markers at home. Chris Houseman was thereabouts. I don't know that he was actually square at marker. It could have easily been a penalty against the Knights. Hodkinson goes to Cassiano, keeping it alive. Keating, good hands. Hodkinson showing it, going, getting away from Mullen. De Boyce is chasing. He gives it to Idris. What a try by the Bulldogs. Super hands in the middle of the field. It was magical. It was mesmerising. In a moment, it might be all locked up.
Here's the turnover from the Knights. Licky early in the tackle count after forcing a repeat set. And the hands you spoke about, Warren. Here's Cassiano offloading to Keating. That's a great take there, wrapping around Hodkinson. Throws a couple of dummies, pushes away from Mullen, looking for support, and he finds Jamal. Great work there by Chris Keating. Quick offload there to Hodkinson, who was wrapping around. And he looked like he was struggling to get there, Jamal, but he got there in the end. Just poked his nose in front, Jim Dimmick. The reaction.
He gets lost in an arm, a sea of arms, and Bulldog supporters who all leapt to their feet as it kept unfurling on this right-hand side. The longer it went, the more likely it looked like there was going to be something for Idris or Turner. And it was Idris who got there, and now, having missed a kick from an easier position not that long ago, off the Reynolds try, Turner pushes this one to the right-hand side.
Focusing on the pill, okay? Football's really good.
It stays at 22 points to 20. Cassiano.
Great little offload there from Keating. It was super, wasn't it? He was travelling at speed, Hodkinson. Through two dummies himself, pushed away from the tackle of Jared Mullen, grabbing. And a nice ball to Idris. 20 minutes. We've got a good 20 minutes coming up.
Boy, how long are these 20 minutes going to be for the Newcastle fans? Being put through this. They're in the queue at half-time for the 2 points on offer. Ooh, boy, Hodkinson almost lost it there between his own legs. Now Idris bumping into Costigan. Stopped also by Ryan Stig. An hour gone, 22-20. Oh, Idris has lost it. Off the back of another try.
Goes to the first halves. Yeah, just popped out. As easy as it like.
Tolman in the first half doing something similar. Idris now. Right. You can excuse it if they're pushing passes and trying to put something on in attack, but then you keep coughing it up at your own end, getting back to your feet.
Seconds lock, hop in.
As a coach, that must be so hard to take. What a bitter taste that would leave in your mouth, given that you're back within 2 points. Here's Gidley. 35 away from the Bulldogs line. They haven't looked like scoring in this second half. There's a bit of a trait of the Knights in recent times. Clocking off in the second half as Houston goes on the attack. They're scoreless in both their last 2 matches, the Knights, in the second half. They've been outscored 32-0 in those 2 games. Now, they come to the left-hand side. Gidley will go to ground just outside the Bulldogs' 10. 2 more plays here. Stig gives it to Costigan. Comes across to Manatia. And he's wrapped up by Stagg. And also Idris on the last. Mullen looking for 6 more, if not 6 points. Keating picks it up, tries to bring it back, but it's Gidley. The skipper makes the tackle, and he ensures Newcastle gets 6 more.
Yeah, they're second of this half too. They failed to get through the last repeat set they had. The Dogs were able to score off the back of that. Keating. There's Gidley making the tackle. Super stuff from Gidley.
Bit of attention there. Tony Ayu, the Bulldogs trainer for Chris Keating.
Stay behind.
Pulled back out. Just see accidental collision there with the shin of Jared Mullen. Keating's okay. Mullen's all right. And Stig makes the catch and gives it off to Mavava. Brings it back inside the Bulldogs 30. The second half we have seen here, a complete reversal of the first 40 minutes. Possession still, given everything we've seen in this second half, 65% to Newcastle overall. That shows you what a welter of possession they had in the first 40 minutes. Here's Kafusi playing it for De Gois. Goes to Ryan Stig, who can really step off both feet, in particular the left foot. He was wrapped up there, lucky to get away with a sloppy-looking play the ball. De Gois trying to give it off to Stig, who was wrapping around the back. And he'll play it about 5 metres out from the Bulldogs' line. On the last play again, Mullen will kick it out there towards Morris and company. It comes down. There was no real contest there. Carol Warner, who was fresh on the field, he was thereabouts, but didn't make much of an effort at it. Now Morris works it away for the Bulldogs.
Well, good tackle by Mullen, but again, not a great kick for him. You want to land it near the try line. It was nowhere near it, and it allowed the Bulldogs to just step back and allow Newcastle to go for the ball. Tolman was able to, he got the bounce and was able to gather it in. They haven't been good at finishing their sets this second half, the Knights.
Frank Pritchard is back out there now for the Bulldogs as Ryan plays it at the 40-metre line. Keating from inside the 40. But he goes down the middle of the field and it goes straight to Kurt Gidley, who gives it off to Aku Uate to wind up. Why wouldn't you? And he put a little step on which robbed him of some speed as he came back to the chase line of Stagg and also Cassiano. Here's McManus. Working it back to a midfield situation. Grabbed there by Keating and also Pritchard. 16 very important minutes for the Knights to try and hang on to this lead. Carol Warner, play it for De Gois. Gidley goes to Houston. Much happening for him there, so he takes the tackle. There'll be a chance once again, a position here. Put a kick in to put some real pressure on Barber off the back of this play. Here is Costigan. They'll play it just outside the Bulldogs 30. They go to the short side. Mullen will kick it. And the pressure will come on Barber. If the ball stays in play to bring it back, it won't stay in play. And now there's going to be a penalty. Because as Barber picked it up and tried to race back to the 20, was it Manatia struck out a hand and knocked the ball away from Barber. Watch it again. There it is. It was Peter Matatea.
Yeah, not much in it, but a bit of gamesmanship there from Matatea. They find touch. Only 5 short of halfway.
Well, they began this half, Brett, with nothing to play for, but there's plenty to play for suddenly at 22-20. But we'll see how they handle their composure in this next set of 6 as Keating goes on the attack. Barber to Idris as he's tackled about 35 out from the Knights line. Are you getting nervous down there, Noddy?
No, I'm getting exciting. As you guys said, there's a game on, isn't it good to see? They maybe have learned from last week, the Dogs. They got close. They didn't take their chances against Manly. Will they learn from pressure situations?
They're in one here. Barber will have been hurt slightly in that tackle. Warburton out the back to Keating. He goes wide straight away from Morris. He puts a step on Ryan's stick, but he makes a good tackle. They've got 2 left from 25 metres out. Pritchard will work it forward for a settle. What do they go with here? Romolo runs to dummy half. He finds Hodkinson, who goes beyond Stagg. Keating picks it up and then puts a pretty good grubber in to put some pressure on McManus. But because the pass went behind the intended receiver, there was no real threat of a good chase there from the Bulldogs, and as a result, McManus brought it back pretty comfortably.
Yeah, the chase had to stop in their run, so they wouldn't be offside. Therefore, the kicker, yeah, you're right, it was a good one. It was curling away. Found the in-goal area, but McManus had plenty of metres before the Dogs' defence reached him.
The Knights bring it back beyond their 30 through Licky. Now Kafusi towards Stagg, and also Warburton in there making the tackle. Kafusi thrashing around, trying to milk a penalty. A kick from Ryan Stigg is just outside the 40. Down it goes to Barber. He gives it off to Turner. Idris floating back there. Barber's still with Turner, who takes the tackle of Matatea. And he'll play it just outside his own 20. Idris, who scored 1 of 3 Bulldogs tries in this second half. 2 of them back to back in the 45th and 48th minutes. That's on. Plays it slowly for Romello. Here is Ryan getting a hand. Ball away, touched by Tuamavave. Went back to Pritchard. And they'll get 6 more tackles. The Knights have to do a lot more tackling here down the short side. Ryan coming to life in perhaps the second last game of his career. Stagg going to Warburton, keeping it alive. Good hands to Idris. Here they come again. There's cover there for Newcastle though. Idris goes to ground. 35 metres out from the Newcastle line. He plays it for Turner. Hodkinson goes to Warburton. Runs towards Caruana and also to Goyce. 25 away they are with plenty of tackles to work it closer, to put something on here to try and take the lead. That would be remarkable given the first 40 minutes here tonight. Ryan to the line, runs at Kafusi, bounces off his tackle, keeps it alive. Hodkinson, he gives it to Stagg. David Stagg offloading like I've rarely seen before. He got another chance here. He takes it to the line, gives it to Warburton, back on the inside for Hodkinson. Kafusi cleaning up on the inside. Play number 5. Here's Stagg again. Now he's grubbering. He can do it all. Was it played at? Ryan has it. They say 6 more tackles. It was played at. Incredible pressure from the Bulldogs. Hodkinson to Keating. Ryan Stigg did well defensively there, coming out quickly and forcing Keating to go back on the inside. He's up slowly. Romolo and goes to Pritchard. They must be out on their feet here, the Knights. Tackle after tackle they've made. Romolo. He comes back to Hodkinson. Idris on the angle, looking for Stagg. He bounced up for Barber. He steps. He scores. Ben Barber scores. And the Bulldogs have the lead.
Can you believe it? 22-6 at half-time. The Bulldogs hit the front in the 70th minute. A try to Ben Barber. They were always going to do it tough. The Newcastle Knights to hang on there. 2:06 to go calls in that period. David Stagg, the grubber, off a Newcastle foot. They swing it to the right. Hodkinson turns it back on the inside to Idris. The ball finds the ground. The defence stops. And the footwork of Ben Barber gets him through a couple of Newcastle defenders. I think it was Chris Houston who was left arm grabbing as Barber's footwork dazzled him and had the speed to beat Caruana. And the doggies have hit the front. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? 20 minutes into this game, Rick Stone, we feel for you.
Boy, what is he feeling up there in the coach's box? Apart from sick, he must have a terrible feeling in his stomach at the moment watching this. The Knights give up a 22-6 half-time lead. Turner gets the flags in the air. It's 26-22, just over 9 minutes remaining. And you could have got any old price you like from me on the Bulldogs doing this in the second half at half-time. Brent, this is unbelievable.
I think I've got the best seat in the house, guys, sitting here on the sideline watching this game swing and change. Trent Hodkinson, who went off last week injured at an important period of the game, out there controlling it for the Dogs tonight. Can they hang on?
He was in a lot of doubt, Hodkinson, for this game, of course. At one stage, they put him on and broken his leg against the Sea Eagles last week. It was just a severe call, and he's done enormously well to get through this game here tonight with everything on the line for the Bulldogs. You heard a call of chest there on the tackle from Fayoso on Romolo, and so play continues on. But Stone gives it to Pritchard. He's got Barber with him. Coming back, Uarte makes the tackle. Boy, they're 80 metres down the field from where they got it off the kickoff a moment ago. The Bulldogs are unstoppable suddenly. Here's Warburton going to the line, wrapped up by Costigan. The last. Ryan will feed it. Back for Keating. He will kick towards the corner. Wright is out there, leaping for it. He puts the ball down, and they're going to check it.
Check contest. Browning, please.
Well, I thought Jonathan Wright got his hands to the football as he jumped for the ball. I really wasn't ready for the referees to go upstairs because I thought Wright won the contest in the air and was the man that got his hands to the ball and knocked it forward. I could be wrong as we get a close-up look from this angle. And does his right hand touch it? His left hand is... I'm going to say that right hand is all over it.
Yes.
All over it.
Feel the play, might be a changeover.
He looked that way watching it live. He tried to sell him to the referee, and Matt Checken, given the enormity of the situation, said,
"You have to go
throw this upstairs."
Yeah, had to go upstairs, had to have a look, just in case. No try. David Stagg's looking like Artie Beetson out there. The offloads, pre and through the line. He put Pritchard in a hole there.
Seriously, he is. I mean, have you seen anybody offload suddenly the way David Stagg is out here?
Well, for someone that doesn't offload the football, all of a sudden, he's introduced it into his game, and it's good. I like it. There should be more of it.
Well, we got nothing to lose. Oh, Frank the Tank. He grabbed Joel Edwards, who can hit, and he slammed him to the turf. Well, the Knights have 7.5 minutes remaining to do something here to save face. Here's Mullen. Turning it back on the inside for Ryan Stick. Ducking, stepping. Got to pass away with Frank Pritchard. Well, he thinks he's forced a mistake. But Caruana gets up with it. They say play on for Newcastle. Last play. Mullen puts it up. Would have gone up a chimney stack and come down the same chimney, that bomb. Now flipped back by Fayoso. De Gois puts a kick in, chasing through. McManus lets it bounce. The Bulldogs watched him. Manatia gives it back for Mullen. Third kick in the one play. How dangerous can that be if two is dangerous? Here's Keating. He gets away from them. Goose stepping, high stepping his way out towards the 20 for the Bulldogs.
Well, now they're getting desperate too, the Knights. We've seen the Bulldogs play a complete, apart from hanging onto the football in the second half, play a completely different brand. They had to play catch-up footy, and they are offloading with every opportunity they get. The Knights will start to play like that now too as they trail by 4 with time ticking away.
Well, the Rabbitohs will be absolutely beside themselves. I don't know that Tolman played the ball correctly there and fired underneath his foot, but it worked out okay. Morris gives it off to Jonathan Wright. He comes towards Gidley. He chips over the top. Ball is chasing. The ball might beat him. Oh, don't tell me he's done it.
What do you got, mate?
Well, we're going to go upstairs to have a look. I would be saying no.
Score it first, Smiley.
My first impression is he surely he couldn't have got there. He needed the ball to bounce up. The ball kicked on. Down that short side, Morris and Jonathan Wright. The chip. Barber's the only one there to reach. I think he puts it on his foot.
That's all that stopped him from scoring a try, is placing the ball on his own foot. Oh, did he get it down? Did he get it down? Look at this again. Well, that angle there made it look like it was his boot, but the other one looked like it was the turf. There's the ball on the ground. That's clearly on the ground. Is his hand on the ball, though?
I don't know.
When it hits the turf?
I don't know.
From that angle there, you would have to say, I think, yes.
It definitely stays inside the white line. There's no doubt about that. It does touch the ground before it touches his foot, which rules out him placing it on his foot. Is his hand still on the football? That's the only thing that we need to find out. From there, it does look like it's still on the ball.
That angle there from that corner camera gives you every impression his hand is still on the ball.
Benefit of the doubt.
Let's take a look. Sean Hampstead, the video referee, says green lights. We've seen some remarkable put-downs in our time, but that's up there with the best ever. It's in the Olympic final of put-downs.
Well, that is the best ever. That's the best
Ferguson,
ever.
Greg Inglis.
Now, that's better than all of them.
You can reel them off, Brandy. That might be the best.
I think it is. Actually, I've got no doubt it's the best. Because he needed the ball to sit up. It didn't sit up. Well, I'm speechless. I'm lost for words to explain that.
I'm lost for words to explain this second half after what we saw in the first half.
That was just brilliant athleticism. The ball was gone. How do you get the ball back as you're going forward? How do you get the ball back that quick as you are travelling that fast to try and get your hands on it?
You've got to be from Cirque du Soleil, which is where they must have found Ben Barber, because he does things on a football field that, well, nobody else could perhaps have done this.
Nice play down that side. He landed on his head too, because he couldn't put his hands down. The celebrations.
They go for the short kick off the Knights. Idris will catch it and put a foot on the line, and as a result, the Knights aren't done with just yet.
No, they're not. 4 minutes to go.
Newcastle.
Well, if you can believe the Dogs could come back after their first half, you can believe that Newcastle can come up with a try from this set, and they need it.
They need to score twice, and there is time to score twice. Just inside, 4 minutes remaining. The Bulldogs, of course, with a victory here tonight, should they win, keep themselves in the hunt. They are miles behind on for and against, but where there's life, there's hope. And they take on the Raiders, of course, and given how the Raiders have played in the second half of the season in particular, they could rack up a score against them if they can play like this.
Well, a loss finishes. The win at least keeps them alive for the following week. Now, they've been doing that for the last month now, the Bulldogs, but they've been playing plenty of grand finals.
Here is Fayoso giving it the man a terrible pass. It goes to Granville. That will finish the Knights tonight.
Yeah.
There's no hope now. Rick Stone realises that. Now his thoughts filled with how did we cough up a 22-6 lead when we had 74% of possession in the first half alone.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's thinking, really, and I know it went through our minds, that with the weight of possession, the stats as they stood after that opening 40 minutes, the Knights needed to be 30 in front. They had that much ball inside the Bulldogs' 20.
It was 32 tackles to 1 at half-time as far as tackles inside the opponent's 20 is concerned. And 32 to 1.
Yeah, and they came out flat in the second half. That was evident after their first set, their opening attacking set. They put a kick up, they let Ben Barber catch the ball on the full, run 20 metres. And really, from there, it's been quickly downhill.
From some sections of this crowd here tonight, they were booed from the field, the Bulldogs. And as we said at the break, rightly so, given what they had turned out in the first 40 minutes. And they might have been stunned, perhaps, by those boos that they heard ringing in their ears as they went back to the sheds, because they have been a different team in this second half. Here's Keating off the back of Pritchard's offload. He gives it to Jonathan Wright. He comes back towards the middle of the field. He tries to stay alive, tackled there by Fayoso. Inside the final 2 minutes, Hodkinson just wants to kick it out for the second time tonight. He's kicked it out on the full. This time, though, he can smile after grimacing after doing that in the first half.
Yeah, it won't matter. 10-point lead with, well, under 2 minutes to go now. What a turnaround. You still look at the possession stats. Who's had it?
What's your name?
Oh, hang on now. Kurt Gedley, what's happening here? And they lost their mind, some of these players here in round 25.
Okie dokie. That's enough of the kerfuffle. Let's go.
This will be interesting because Kurt Gedley, the way things looked, was the third man in here.
Take him back. Take him back.
And I know they've coughed up a game they look certain to win. This is crazy stuff.
Well, let's see exactly what happens. Josh Reynolds, Gedley, he pushes Gedley a couple of times.
Well, I guess he was he wasn't quite third man because he was thereabouts initially, but it was the Goyce.
He copped it. It was Reynolds with a couple of shoves to the chest of Gedley, and then Gedley thought, well,
keep coming.
I might cop one, but I'm not going to cop another one.
Get back!
And he gets the penalty.
The last thing he needs to do is get himself involved in a situation where he could find himself in trouble on Monday morning with the match review committee. Given the game the Knights will now have, no matter what the result tomorrow in Brisbane between the Broncos and the Rabbitohs. It'll be sudden death in Newcastle next weekend. Here is Ryan Stig picking it up. He runs away from Andrew Ryan. He will finish at least his second last game as a winner here with the Bulldogs. Gedley going to the short side, giving it to Manatia. Tries to get away from Idris. He'll be tackled a couple of metres out from the line. The Goyce, nothing doing there for him. Idris has got him covered. So has Andrew Ryan. He lost the ball anyway. They'll say it was ripped out. It'll matter little. The siren sounds. I'll take that one last play out there. But the Bulldogs have pulled off one of the more remarkable come-from-behind wins you are ever likely to see. There's a knock-on, and the Bulldogs have done it here tonight. I don't know how. Neither did the Newcastle Knights. But from 22-6 down at the break, they've won 32-22.
Well, we've seen bigger comebacks in terms of points, 22-6. Not insurmountable, but what the Bulldogs offered in that opening 40 minutes, as you said, you could have given them thousands. They were absolutely no chance to come back into this game going on what they provided in the first half. They turned it around, they played some razzle-dazzle football, and it was good to watch, and it keeps them alive for another week and puts, well, all sorts of pressure on the Newcastle Knights, who now, well, destiny has been taken out of their own hands. They're relying on results.
Next Friday night, they take on the Rabbitohs in round 26. And as we said, no matter what happens in that game tomorrow, it will be alive for the Bunnies, who now, with a win over the Broncos tomorrow, can leapfrog the Knights into outright 8th position. Let's go downstairs right now to Brent Kamor.
Well, Benny Barber, is that one of the greatest wins you've been a part of?
Yeah, I think it has to be. I think down 22-6 night we were nervous, but we knew that the momentum can change at any time, and luckily it did in the second half.
Well, Brandy said that was probably the best try he has ever seen. You broke the record today for Rod Silver as the greatest try-scoring fullback per season. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a pretty special honour. Rocket was a great fullback here, and then to go past him is a great honour for myself. So no, I'm just happy that we got the win today, and we fought really hard.
It's a big day for the club next week as well. Andrew Ryan's last game, unless there's semi-final bound here next Sunday. What do you say to all the Dogs people?
Just have a hope. The team still has it, so just keep backing us, because we still think we're a chance.
I enjoyed watching that, Benny. Very good, mate.
Thanks, Heaps.
Here with Jared Mullen. Jared, I asked Benny, how did they win it? I can ask you the same thing. How did you lose it?
Just too much short ball, mate. It's been the story of our season. Our second half has been poor, and one game to go. Hopefully we're still in it with the fight.
But now sets a good scene for Friday night. You've had 2 very physical games. How does Rick Stone get you up for possibly a semi-final run?
Yeah, obviously a bit of rest this week. It's been a tough couple of weeks, but Old Boys Day next Friday night. It's going to be a big occasion, so it's all on the line then.
Yeah, obviously a former Old Boy myself, I know what it used to feel like to run out there amongst them. How's your shoulder, mate? You're 100% for next week?
Yeah, should be right. It pulled up okay, but I'll be there, mate.
Well, makes for a very exciting finish to the season. Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Noddy. Cheers, mate.
Certainly does that. A little bit too exciting, I think, for the Newcastle Knights fans. The Knights against the Rabbitohs next Friday night. The Bulldogs have joined the Knights and the Rabbitohs on 26 premiership points, but they are 83 points behind Newcastle on 4 against, and 51 points behind the Rabbitohs. It looks to be a battle between the Knights and the Rabbitohs for 8th position. The Rabbitohs play tomorrow. We'll take a break. What a beginning tonight. The Bundaberg Super Saturday. The boys in the studio right after this.